So property spruikers are people who sell only new stuff, etc, etc, etc. I'm just going to share a screen on a blog that because at the moment the property spruikers out there are kicking the tires and kicking into buyer's agents. So buyer's agents, the fact that we're charging you a fee means that we're representing you and we're loyal to you. With a property spruiker, what they're trying to do is they're trying to sell you a house and land package where they're getting paid from the developer and the builder to sell that product to you, okay? So the money that they're going to make from the builder and the developer might be 30, 40, 50 grand, okay? And you're a 30, 40, 50 grand payday. Where a buyer's agent, we represent you in the transaction. So you're going to pay us a fee, and I'm going to talk more about those fees in a couple of seconds. But the property spruikers out there are seeing an opportunity because you can get negative gearing in that and you can go there. So, you know, property spruikers are basically they're marketing experts, okay? Property spruikers often present themselves as advisors or wealth building experts operating predominantly in master plan communities or large developments. They lure buyers in with flashy promises and that. So you'll hear pressure tactics like once in a lifetime opportunity, or who wants to look down the camera today and say they made $30,000 by signing their new home, house and land package and contract, or the best way to save tax and build wealth, or one that there's a company that's doing it at the moment and they sit there and they go, property investing has changed forever. The only way to get ahead is to build new. No, it's not. It's never been the way to get ahead. These master plan communities take ages to take off the ground and you're buying in Lego City. You know, they're basically repeated from next door to next door. And when they go to sell, if, you know, there's a fire sale market in these Lego cities, it's going to be a race to the bottom like we saw in the apartment market. So those guys out there that are charging their full fee up front, you should never ever engage with a buyer's agency that's telling you that you need to pay your full fee up front before they've delivered anything. If that is what they're doing it, and you can have a look at Reba say that they are basically criminals out there, okay? There's three main types of buyer's agent fee structures out there in the world, okay? The first fee structure and main type is a fixed fee, and they'll charge somewhere between 15 to 30,000 plus GST, depending, and they shouldn't be charging any more than about 20% of their final fee up front. So if their final fee is 30 grand, they shouldn't be charging any more than 6 grand up front. And I would say, personally, they shouldn't be charging any more than 10%. With my structure, we are basically 10% up front, and that's it, okay? Then you've got the percentage of purchase price amount for those guys, okay? And that's between 1.5% to 3% here in Queensland. Each state's a little bit different, plus GST, okay? That's off the purchase price, right? Now, once again, if they are going to charge you an upfront fee, make sure that it's written in there that if you're paying them hypothetically 5 grand up front, that comes off the final bill. My approach is it's a different skill level at these different brackets. I can negotiate a contract between $400 and $1 million in my sleep, where negotiating a $3 million contract actually requires a lot of skill and work and everything like that, which is why there's, you know, call for a custom price. But basically we sit at about 1%, except for this bracket of the middle, okay? So if you have a look at the million to 1.6, we're at basically 13,000. So if you were to have a look at 1.3 is the middle of that, we're basically at 1% of that. Okay, that is inclusive of GST. So that's including GST, and we don't charge any more than 10% of our final fee up front, and that comes off the final fee. And the reason for that is we drive out and inspect these properties, so we've got to put fuel in our cars. You know, we're on the phone constantly ringing people and having discussions and that sort of thing. You know, the video that you saw where I'm showing Price Finder, that sets me back $357 a month as a subscription fee, so I can get that information, that data, and better advise my clients. So that cost of operating the business is quite substantial across different things. And that's just, you know, three little examples about that. That's not all the other bits and pieces that go on the back end. And that $1,000 is basically for me to not go broke if your situation changes or something happens within there. And that's the reason why it's only a 10% fee. It's not for me to get rich. It's for making sure that I can keep the lights on and keep helping people. And I get, in a sense, rich, or I make my money once we find that right property and we secure it.